Hafþór Björnsson, aka The Mountain, is here with us this morning. How the hell are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, I was going to say welcome to Ireland, but you're in Ireland all the time. We keep forgetting this.
Yeah, well, I come here. I've been here quite often. You know, I film a lot here for Game of Thrones, mostly in Belfast City.
Yeah. Also, famously, you were here one time. Was it here that you fought with Conor McGregor? Was that in Dublin?
Yeah, actually, I was filming in Belfast City, and I had the whole day off. So I decided to take a trip here to Dublin, and I met up with him, and yeah, it happened all here.
Yeah. What was that like?
Oh, it was all fun, you know. It was just friendly sparring that went viral, you know.
Yeah.
It went totally viral, and everybody saw it.
So when you say friendly, he needs you in the rib cage a little bit, and there's one point where you're grabbing him kind of, and we're thinking maybe you were about to squash him. We weren't sure.
I was thinking about that at one point, but then I realized that he had a very important fight coming up. It was worth a lot of money for him, so I didn't really want to ruin it for him.
Yeah, but he was definitely, there were some punches, the body shots were landing. You can see.
Yeah, they were landing,
like,
you know. And I'm obviously not used to getting punched, you know. Even though I'm strong, I'm not used to getting, you know, hit by a professional fighter.
Yeah.
But it was all fun, and you know, I enjoyed myself.
Is there ever any prospect of you getting involved in MMA or something like that? Is that something that interests you at any point in your career?
No, I haven't really thought about it, you know. The fans have been asking me a lot, you know, Thor, are you gonna try MMA or this sport, you know, even NFL or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying the journey so far. I like being part of Game of Thrones, and I like being a strongman, so I'm happy with my life right now.
What was that sequence of events? How did you go? What came first, Strongman or Game of Thrones, or what was the order?
Strongman, and then Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And then obviously a lot of other opportunities came along.
There's the documentary on Netflix at the minute, which we've been watching and talking a bit about around the office, called Born Strong, and a bunch of the other people in the documentary get their beginnings of their story told, but you, because you're so famous, they kind of just assume everybody knows who you are. But I was really interested to kind of hear, how do you get into Strongman as a kid, and what's your backstory? What was the bit that made you think, geez, I want to do this?
It's actually funny. I was never really training to become a strongman. In the beginning, as a young boy, I wanted to become a professional basketball player. But then I injured myself a few times, and I had to take a break. And I took a year break where I just decided to build myself up. And in that year, I gained a lot of size and strength, and I started to love the weightlifting more than the basketball. And then I decided I want to try something, and I tried out powerlifting first. I did some.
Just like Olympic powerlifting, that kind of stuff.
It's you do bench press, squats, and deadlift.
Okay.
This is powerlifting. It's three lifts: bench press, squats, and deadlift.
Competitive.
Yes,
yeah.
I tried that first, and then I decided I want to try something else, and I tried out Strongman, a competition, Icelandic competition in Iceland called Viking. And after that competition back in 2009, I just got totally hooked, and I didn't look back. I just kept on going.
What age were you when the basketball injury happened?
18, 17.
Okay, because that's your dreams right there, and all of a sudden you're looking at your knee. I think it was a knee injury, was it?
It was my foot.
Okay, so you're looking at your foot going, you've betrayed me, my body has betrayed me. And that, like, I think anybody, when they have their dreams taken away, it can be a difficult moment.
Yeah, it was, definitely, you know, because, you know, I was always training and getting in a good shape, then the season was coming, and then I got injured. I had to go, it was very frustrating for me. But I found my sport, and I'm happy today.
Yeah.
Well, what's the competitive spirit like around the strongman competitions? Because we often see trash talk when it comes to actual combat sports. Is it more of a gentlemanly approach to your fellow competitors and the people who want to become the world's strongest man?
I think there's rivalry in any sport. Even in strongman there's rivalry, but I think that's good. I think it can sometimes be helpful, and it builds up excitement for the fans.
Is your rivalry with other people, is it an intense one? Do you have particular rivalries with other people in the strongman game?
For example, another guy from England, Stoke, named Eddie Hall. Me and him have had some rivalry, throughout the years, but nothing too serious though. But it's the fans like it, and it makes the sport grow.
Strongman seemed to me that you're all very close in strength. There's not that much between you. That a lot of it is the psychology of who is in the best form at that moment. How much of that is you intimidating your opponents a little bit or just getting in their heads as much as it is you being confident that you're at the peak of your powers?
I think it's obviously you can get into the other guy's head by for example, if someone of my competitors asks me, Thor, how are you feeling? My first question always, and will always be, I'm great. If they ask me, do you have any injuries? I always say no. I just pretend that I'm 100% healthy and in the best shape of my life. And sometimes that gets into their head, because usually all of us are injured and we have some problems. I'm usually injured. I tore my quad 2 years ago, just a few weeks before World Strongman. I broke my toe a week ago before World Strongman this year. But when the guys asked me, Thor, how are you feeling? I said, I'm great. I'm not going to tell them that I have some weaknesses, because if I do, then they maybe believe that they could beat me.
It's the fake it till you make it, is how Conor McGregor says it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that gives you psychological power over them.
Yeah, it makes them feel like I'm unstoppable. They have no chance to beat me. Yeah.
The rivalry, though, that's real, isn't it? I mean, when you talk about Conor McGregor there, I mean, it's very easy to talk about the circus before the Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather fight last summer. Your relationships and those testy times you have with your competitors, when it's heated, it's real. It's not a theatre. It's not.
Yeah, definitely. It is real. At least in Strongman, maybe some of it's fake in other sports. I'm not sure about that. But in Strongman, it is real, and we all want to win in the end of the game, and we all want to be the best.
Mm. Do you like Conor McGregor and how he deals with the media and how he hypes up his fights, how he hypes up his own brand?
I met him before. I like him as a person, and I think he's a great athlete, and the way he's doing it. Obviously, sometimes he went a little bit too far, but that's just his game.
Mm. Can we talk about Game of Thrones a little bit?
We can, but again, cannot give any spoilers.
No, that's all right. Yeah, that's okay. We'll do the spoilers. So, when you read the script and the script involves killing a man with your bare thumbs, what's that like? You're like, oh, this is pretty exciting.
Exciting, but also like when you're reading it the first time, you're like, fuck, how are we going to do this? Yeah, but it's definitely exciting, and it's great to be a part of such a big television show. How
did you do it? Did you crush something?
Yeah, it was just a fake head, copy of his head.
Right, that's incredible. Did you know at the time, just acting that it would become like an iconic moment? I mean, it's clearly one of the most famous things we've seen on TV in the last 20 years.
I didn't realize. I mean, I knew that the show was huge, and I knew the fight was, very important to the show, and everything like that. But I didn't realize how much attention it would get. It got more attention than I actually thought. I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you.
Were you ready for that? A lot of people aren't ready for being the eye of a celebrity storm, that now people follow you around, everybody wants pictures, everybody wants, there's obviously huge benefits to it, that you're famous, and there's all the good stuff that goes with that, but there's also this other side that none of us really see, that you're you become public property a little bit.
Was I ready for it? I mean, I couldn't really prepare myself for it, I didn't know it was going to happen. So it just kind of came, and now it's just part of my life.
Are you happy about it? That part of it?
I mean, like I said before, I'm enjoying the journey. You know, I like the journey, and you know, I like my fans, and I'm especially just enjoying the journey.
Yeah. Were you a fan of Game of Thrones? Had you read the books before? Did you know that much about it?
I haven't read the books, to be honest with you, not even today. But I was a fan of the show, and I was watching the show when I actually got the offer. So it was. That's
how it works. They come and say, "We want you." It's not like you go and say, "Oh, I want to be on Game of Thrones." That's a pretty interesting phone call. There's this show, we'd like you to be a part in it, and you're like, "Yeah, what's the part? Is it a big part?"
Yeah, exactly.
What do we have to do?
It was. I didn't really believe it in the beginning. It was surreal, you know. I didn't believe it. I got the phone call, and actually, I first got email, and because I just didn't really believe it. I didn't respond to it straight away.
Yeah.
It was just too good to be true.
It feels a bit like, I'm a Nigerian prince and I have loads of money in my bank account. Would you like it? It's like, would you like to be in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, kind of, you know. So I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm not even gonna waste my time answering this. But then I actually, like a week later, or a few days later, I got this phone call, and then things got serious.
And after that, when you realise that the role is going to be the role that it is, like, no future spoilers, but there's definitely a bad period in the Mountain's life where things aren't going well, and then lo and behold, he re-emerges. It's like, oh, geez, I'm gone from this, you know? Like, okay, spoiler alert, you get killed and then he comes back, or we don't know exactly what happens, right? But that bit where you're like, oh shit, they're killing me off. And then the next bit is like, no, don't worry about it, we've got plans for you. Is that a conversation that happens, or are you, when you read the first script about how you disappear for a while, is that like, oh, come on? Did you know you were coming back at that stage?
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay, that's all right then. So that's not too disappointing.
Not too disappointing, but I knew it was not a lot of work for me, so I was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, not a lot of...
especially after the season 4. I mean, anyone that hasn't watched what's been happening so far, don't even bother to listen. But, you know, I'm allowed to talk about what has happened before. After season 4, I knew there was going to be a low point for me in season 5. Then it got a little bit more in season 6 and season 7, and I obviously can't go into any details into season 8.
Yeah. Okay, so at least you knew you were coming back. And the fight scenes are unbelievably choreographed. Like, maybe the things aren't as sharp as they look on TV, but they're still proper weapons, and you guys are big guys. Like, do they hurt? Do you get injured in those scenes?
I haven't gotten injured, but after the fight against the Red Viper, I was very sore.
Yeah.
Just like it was, you know, it was a lot of contact, and you know, we were working. You know, it was a work.
Yeah.
Well,
it looks amazing.
It was a lot of contact, and you know it. But it's basically like a dance. You're learning these movements, and then you're learning them so well that it becomes like a dance. You take this step forward, then you take this step backwards, and then you put your blade here, and he puts this blade, and it's just like a dance, you know. Basically.
Yeah, a lot of trust involved, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, you have to trust the other guy, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot.
See the way you said you didn't get injured. Did you ever injure anybody in any of those scenes?
No, luckily not.
Touch wood, so far.
Yeah.
Here, we've actually got the footage of the McGregor. We've dug it out there. So there's a few bits of this where I think you can actually see that it's on this screen here, I think now. Yeah. So he's a little bit smaller than you. That's the bit where he's kind of...
At this moment, I knew I could take him down, but I just didn't want to break him.
Could you break him?
I could.
It feels that way, yeah?
He felt very light, and there as well, you know. I had him a few times,
there,
but I just didn't want to break him.
He's quick on his feet.
He's quick, and he was very slippery as well, so it was hard to get a grip on him. But there were at least 2 moments, I think, I could have just messed him.
And is that hurting you when he's jabbing you in the torso?
Not too bad, you know. There's a huge size difference, obviously, between me and him.
There's a beautiful.
But I'm not used to getting punished, obviously, and I'm no fighter, so my technique is just like I'm wearing jeans and just some shoes on. I just took my shirt off and we were just joking, and he was just enjoying himself to punch some fucking big wood there.
There he's starting to punch you in the stomach, and that's
I wasn't ready for this, and obviously I'm a big guy. I was like, just fuck this. I'm not gonna run after this small guy. He's running around, you know, and
that was a sneaky.
And I don't have cardio for running around after a small guy. So I'm not
sneaky knee in the rib cage at the end there as well.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was taking that pretty seriously.
He was.
Yeah,
he was.
Like afterwards, when you extend a hand, he's like, "All right, okay, it's over now." Whereas before that, it was still game face on for Conor McGregor.
I mean, bring me a shorts and put us in a cage, and you know, I'll fight you again.
How long would it take for you to win?
If I would get a grab on him, 10 seconds.
10 seconds, okay.
Yeah.
And how many Conor McGregors would it take to beat you?
I don't know. I mean, maybe 5.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
I'm sure SBG could put up 5 of similar weight fighters if you wanted to make that happen.
You could definitely get 100 million on pay-per-view if they're going to give it to Floyd Mayweather for his fight. We should talk football. You're in the Iceland football shirt. You want us all to support Iceland.
Yeah. I'm. You know, it's we are the underdogs now, and it's going to be exciting to see, you know, how it's going to go for us. You know, I have a big belief in our team.
That's the fans' jersey you're wearing, the one that all the fans in Iceland are wearing. The Icelandic clap obviously was an iconic sports moment from the last Euros, but the whole world is stealing it. The whole world is like, no, we're going to have a little bit of that, and it's like not unique anymore. You guys can't be happy about that.
I mean, it got attention, and you know. I'm not sure how the guys are feeling about in the team, but I think it's just good for us, you know, that, you know, other nations are stealing it. Just means that we are doing something right, you know, something good. Yeah,
it must be a great time to be an Iceland football fan, because the population is so small, and to reach as far as you did in the Euros, and then for it not just to be a fluke, it's like a second tournament, and actually it's a much bigger tournament still. It's pretty special.
It is indeed. You know, I'm very proud of our team, my nation, you know, and I can't wait to see what the guys are going to bring. I think they're all ready, hungry. They're nothing to lose, but everything to gain. So it's going to be, I think, something. I don't know. Some of the nations might underestimate us, but I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
I had one last question that I was asked to ask you by my wife, who's a Game of Thrones fan, is, do you actually like Cersei? Does the Mountain like Cersei? Is there a possibility he's kind of in love with her?
As a character?
Yeah. I mean, obviously not in real life. Unless you want to break some news here.
I don't think so. The character isn't in love with her at all, no. It's
pure servant and protected.
Yeah, and he's there for a reason, I think.
So that's a spoiler right there. Cersei and the Mountain do not get married in the next season again.
I don't know. I can't tell.
Who knows?
Maybe they do.
Well, listen, enjoy Belfast, and you're very welcome. Best of luck to Iceland in the World Cup, and thanks a million for being such a good sport.